lost. In Austin I saw, pause, my eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Roll dice and woes of life, love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise, crystal chandeliers, moments reflected, often mirrors a pit, quick, ready from ear to ear. Craving and raving in rain, rekindle the flame, closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose.
Boom. Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark, and it is Tuesday, and we are back into the swing of things, doing all of our minority, women, and black-owned business things done. We're excited about having all of our stuff and being back on the road again. We're going to have a full week. We're going to be here today. We're going to be at my nephew, which is my sister's old restaurant, Genofiel's, tomorrow. Thursday. Tomorrow we're going to be at, I take that back. No, we'll be at the barbershop on Friday. Is that right? Yeah, barbershop on Friday. Then next week, we're going to be Tuesday, Monday there, Tuesday at Genofiel's, Tuesday here, Wednesday at Industry, Thursday, wherever we're going to be. So we're going to be working all of our stuff and getting back into our women and black-owned businesses. And, of course, today's show is brought to you by one of my favorite places. If I can just find it, I don't know where the hell is my thing at. Of course, we are here. We're here courtesy of YNB, family-owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC, proud sponsor for us to go out and support women, minority, and black-owned businesses in the OKC area. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com, or go into any of their 5 locations. The main bank at 401 Elm, 66 steps from historic downtown Yukon, Oklahoma. YNB Parkway, which is off, YNB East, which is off the Parkway and 66 or 39th Expressway. YNB Mustang, 218 North Mustang Road. YNB Parkway, yes, which is off Garth Brooks and I-40, just south of I-40, right in front of the hospital. Cannot miss it, just right there. I mean, literally, you come off the highway. If you exit going east off I-40, you exit to go south. It's literally right there. Great access. And then, of course, YNB People is located in Bethany on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur. So we want to thank them for sponsoring us to be here today at George's, because they've been on my case about being here, saying, where you at, Matt? Come back, hang out with us no more. And I'm like, man, okay, it's been snowing every the 2 Wednesdays, the 2 third Tuesdays in a row. Then it was 90-mile-an-hour winds, and I'm not taking all this equipment out in the weather. Just not. If it's raining, I'm not doing it. If it's snowing, I'm not doing it. If it's high winds and stuff like that, any kind of weather, I'm not doing it. My equipment is too expensive. So we're just not doing it. So, but now, it's summertime, so we'll be back, like I said, in our routine. We're going to add Genofiel's, or my nephew's new restaurant, to our lineup of minority and women-owned businesses. And we are looking for women-owned businesses. So if you have a salon or you have something that you want us to come and do your business, we will. And I do believe we have a couple salons I think we're going to be going to do our show there as well. So we're just waiting to hear from the owner of it to make sure it's okay, because I ran into her at Cat's Tavern about it. And, of course, we'll be back at Cat's as well after Thunder games and, with Thunder away games, not home games. Thunder away games, we'll be there. So we're excited about that. Speaking of our team, our OKC Thunder, we have a big game tonight against which I'm kind of torn, because my Cowboys play tonight. If we win tonight, we go to the Final Four in the NIT. So we're playing a game at home tonight at Gallagher-Iba Arena at 8 o'clock. And then, of course, our team, the Thunder, play tonight against the Kings. So I was talking to the commander a little while ago before I came on air, and we were talking about tonight, because I know he was thinking about going to the OSU game. But like he said, man, by the time the game's over with, it's 10:30. You got to drive back from Stillwater, and all of that. And so, like I said, yeah, I know. And plus, the Kings game is at 9 o'clock. So by the time I watched the OSU game in Stillwater and then turn around, I would only be able to see part of the last game for the OSU game. So I'm probably going to watch the OSU game on TV somewhere, and then watch. Excuse me. And watch the Thunder game at the same time. So I'll probably go to a bar where I can watch both, where I can watch the Kings game, Kings Thunder, and OSU game before that. So that's probably what I will do, and then come home and do the show afterwards. And if it's nice enough, you know what? If it's nice enough, I may do it outside tonight. It depends on how nice it is outside, but we'll see how that's going to work out. I don't really know. We'll just kind of take it play it by ear on that. But anyway, the Kings play the Thunder tonight. Of course, the Kings lost to the Celtics last night, so they'll be playing the back-to-back. And how rough, how tough a schedule is that? You got to go on the road to play the Celtics, then you got to turn around and go fly over halfway across the country to Oklahoma City to play the Thunder the next night in both road games. And of course, the Thunder are 10.5-point favorites. 231.5 is the over/under. Thunder are 59-12. 35-36 are the Kings. And remember, the Thunder now have a 2-game lead for the best record in the NBA. And then also, what that means is that we also have the ability to have home court throughout the playoffs, which is what we would want. We have a great home record, so we'll see how that's going to play out. But that being said, I was telling Randy we're 25-1 against the East. That's a crazy record. That's a crazy record, and and it stems strictly from our defense. I mean, we've talked about this over and over and over. Our defense is what makes us who we are, because the defense and our deep bench. Because the commander, Randy, and I were talking about this earlier. I said, and he said it. So it's crazy that our bench is so deep, because you can lose J-Dub and you can lose Chet, and you can not have either one of those guys, and you can go into L.A. and beat the Clippers. And the Clippers are hot. They've been playing really well lately. And we went in there and just bust them in the mouth. So that tells you a lot about who we are as a team. It tells you a lot about what we have to offer. What's up, Burgess? How you doing, big dog? Appreciate you coming on and giving us a little love here. But, it just goes to show you what kind of team we have. It goes to show you who we are as a franchise and what Sam Presti has put together, and then what Dagnall is now doing. And we had talked about this, and I think Nathan said this on the show the other night on After the Storm, how it seems like the coach is coaching better with J-Dub not playing than he does when he's playing. And it's simply because, simply to me, it's because it's like he's trying to build J-Dub up so much that he overplays him, because he's trying. I mean, that's his guy. That's who he's drafted. That's who he's coached. That's who he's built up. Whereas SGA is just who SGA is. But the commander had made the point that we kind of struggled against Boston without him, that's the game he got hurt. Then against Detroit, we struggled a little bit, which we did. But Detroit is a lot better. I'm not sure, and like we were talking, I'm not sure if it was the fact that Detroit is better than what we think, or is it the fact that it was our first game without J-Dub, what we were going to do. And I think it's probably a combination of both, not having him in there as our second best option at this point. Up until now, Chet is clearly going to be our second best option. But or was it Detroit being who they are? And I think it's a combination. Now, remember, they're coming here. But think about this. We beat Boston twice. We beat the Knicks twice. And, here, let's go. You know what? Let's go through this list of their teams. Let's do this. Let's do this first. Let's go by and look at who we have left in our next 10 games. Okay, who do we have from the East? Okay, we have the Pacers left from the East. We have the Bulls left from the East. We have the Pistons left from the East. And that's it. Those are 3 teams we have from the East left. Okay, and we've already beaten the Pacers once. They're in Indiana. We've already beat the Bulls in Chicago, and we beat the Pistons in Detroit. Okay, so after that, everything else is left to the West. So when you think about this and you look at the the standings, okay, think about this. This is what we've done. We split with the Cavs, so we're 1-1 against them. We beat the Celtics twice. We beat the Knicks twice. We beat the Bucks twice. We beat the Hawks twice. We beat the Magic twice, and we beat the Heat twice. So we've only played the Pacers. We've only played the Pistons once, and we've only played the Pacers once. Every other team other than the Cavs we beat twice. I mean, think about that. Look at their top 10. We're 2-0 against the Celtics, 2-0 against the Knicks, 2-0 against the Bucks, 2-0 against the Hawks, 2-0 against the Magic, and we're 2-0 against the Heat. So in their top 9, we are 12-0 against them. I mean, think about that for a minute. And remember, we haven't played the Pistons. We've only played the Pistons once, the Bulls once, and the Pacers once. So if they're top 10 teams, if they're six of those teams, we beat 12 times, twice. And we're going to beat the Bulls twice. So that'll be 7. Okay? Then we're going to beat the Pistons. Well, the Pistons are going to be tougher than the Pacers. Both of those games are going to be tough games. I'm really worried about them. But the question is, when do we get J-Dub back? And when is that going to matter? So anyway, so when you look at the East and what we've done, that's incredible. We've lost 1 game against the East. And like the commander said, we lost to them, and it really was, we should have won that game. And I remember coming on after the storm, I was livid. Everybody in our chat was livid, because we have about the thing about after the storm, we have a very, very lively chat room. Everybody comes on and they talk on after the storm, which is surprising why we don't have more people which is weird because in the chat it says views, and the views will only have 4 views, but we've had 7 people in the chat, and I'm like, well, how am I getting 7 people in the chat and I only have 3 views? Or we'll have 10 people viewing, but it doesn't show up in my metrics. I don't really get that. I don't really know how the YouTube thing works, but I'm like, the other night we had 12 people watching, but when it came out afterwards, when you're looking at it, it said we had 3 views. I'm like, now how am I getting 3 views and we have 12 people viewing at one time, and then I've got 7 people in chat, but I've only got 3 views? Don't know how it works. But anyway, on After the Storm, we have a very, very lively chat room. And the thing that I love about it is the people that are in the chat are very, opinionated. I've got a sharp group. Thank you, Burgess. He agrees with the coaching take. And, we have a good group of people that come in there. They're knowledgeable. They don't say a bunch of off the wall. Well, we got one guy that says a bunch of stuff sometimes. But as Burgess knows, Hotspot Casino will come in and say some stuff. We're like, what? Bro, what are you talking about? But for the most part, he's really knowledgeable, and he does say some things that are off the chart sometimes, and we're like, what the hell? Even though we'll say this. And I will give him credit for this. And also AJ, or Burgess will tell you that AJ Mitchell take by him was 100%. Was 100% about what happened there. So, now, that being said, we have a huge game tonight that we have to handle our business because we do have a 2-game lead. And you saw what we have left in our schedule. Okay? So, should we beat the Kings tonight? Yes. I believe so. Now, here is an underlying thing in that. SGA has 64 games where he scored 20 points in a row. Now, he tied KD's record. Okay, but KD also has the record in the NBA at 72, I believe is what it is. And so SGA will tie that against the Lakers and could break it against the Lakers. So for that to be, to me, that's almost icing on the cake, if you will, compared to what Sam Presti did the first time, and then how he's built this second iteration of this team. Because this is our second team, okay? And most teams don't get a chance unless you're the Lakers or you're the Celtics that you continue to build teams. With small market teams, usually they have a good run, or if they even get a run, and then they're done. San Antonio is that other team. I still don't know how the hell they figured it out. You have the number one pick, you get David Robinson. You have the number one pick, you get Tim Duncan. You have the number one pick, you get Wembanyama. What the hell? How the hell do you do that? How the hell do you do that? And hopefully they don't get in the lottery again. I don't think they are. I need to check, but I don't think they're going to be in the lottery again. But if they were, then they get Cooper Flag too. So you got Wemby and Cooper Flag and De'Aaron Fox. Is that a better threesome than when you had Ginobili, Parker, and Duncan? Now, the big question is our big three now compared to the big three we had at first. Now, that being said, the first big three we had, which of course is KD, James, and Russell, is that better than the one we have now? Well, yes, because you're going to have 3 Hall of Famers. KD is in the top. He's going to be in my top 10 of all time, for sure. The other 2, no, but him for sure will be in my top 10. So that's how I look at that. Now, the second iteration, SGA is the only one that probably has the opportunity to do any of that. It would be him. Chet, I don't believe Chet is going to be. I believe he has the skill set to do it, but I don't know if Chet's going to be healthy enough to be able to survive long enough to be able to break into the top 20 or anything like that. I don't know with the way his body's built. I don't know. I would hope so because that's good for the Thunder. But I'm not sure if he's going to be able to, if his body's going to be able to stay healthy. Is he going to be able to stay healthy enough? His body going to hold up long enough for him to be able to do that? I hope so, but I'm not real sure. J-Dub, on the other hand, I think J-Dub is a really nice player. I don't think he's going to be one of the top 20, 30 of all time. Like, I don't even put Russell up in there. But, Russell did average a triple-double, and he did do all that, even though it was aided by the Thunder. 100%. And we can say what we want to, but, yeah. Now, he did win MVP. James won the MVP. KD won the MVP. So when you compare the 3 that we first had, compared to these 3, and you got to remember, we traded for SGA, but we drafted Chet, we drafted J-Dub, we drafted KD. Well, the Seattle Supersonics did, but that's us. Our management did that. Sam Presti did that. So you got to look at Sam Presti and what he did for that. He drafted KD, and then he drafted James Harden, and he drafted Russell. So he did all that. So, but the first iteration of players that we had, that's 3 MVPs, three Hall of Famers. And then this group, you might have 1 Hall of Famer if SGA continues on his current pace, which is insane. His 3rd straight first-team All-NBA. His 3rd time averaging 30, shooting 50%, which only other person who's done it that much is Michael Jordan. So if he can uphold this pace, can he do that? Yes. I believe he can. And, I know that and I don't know if he's ever publicly said this, but I think his feelings were hurt, the fact that he got traded from L.A. to Oklahoma City, wouldn't you? Oklahoma City, I mean, we love Oklahoma City, but L.A. And Nathan and I talked about this on the show the other night on After the Storm. Would SGA be as successful in L.A. playing for the Clippers as he is for the Thunder? That's a huge question. And I'm not sure what my answer is to that. I'd say probably yes, because Kawhi's been hurt the whole time. So I would say probably yes. He probably still would be extremely successful. Now, would he be an MVP candidate? I don't know if he would. I don't know if he would take the Clippers to what he's taking Oklahoma City, because you have to, number one, give Sam Presti credit with us having the deepest bench in the NBA, us and the Celtics. Number two, you can't discount the fact of what we've done as a group, putting that group together defensively. And number three, I don't know if the culture that is in LA is the same culture that we have at the Thunder. I don't know. I don't think those are the same culture. So I don't know how well he would have developed, even though I think he would still be a great player. Now, would he be MVP, first team All NBA? I don't know that. I would think he'd still be scoring because hell, ain't nobody stopping him. And Kawhi's been gone, but of course they wouldn't have had to have James Harden. And so we're not sure. The question is, what would his growth be like under Ty Lue compared to what it's been under Dagnall? That is the $1 million question. To me, that's the biggest question. What do you say? What do you answer that? How do you position that? That would be my thing. Is that how do we say what SJ would have been there under Ty Lue versus what he would have been here under Dagnall? Now, I believe Ty Lue is a better coach than him, 100%. I think Ty Lue knows how to coach a superstar. I still don't think Dagnall does. I think Dagnall is a team because coming from Florida with Billy Donovan and being under him and then having the whole team concept, I think that's how he looks at it. But because Billy Donovan did not know how to coach KD and have a superstar. He did not know how to do that. And then when they got rid of everybody because of Russell, that's what he wanted, then they for sure definitely didn't know how to coach Russell. And Russell just did whatever the hell he wanted, which hurt the Thunder. With everybody else, nobody wanted to come here. Then once they came here, nobody wanted to stay because of the simple fact of him. So all those things you take in consideration. But here's the number one factor. SGA is here. Presti has built an outstanding group of people around him. Number three, the coaching staff, even though I think they lack in experience just like our team does, I still think that the fact of what we built defensively has been huge in the maturation of SGA and of our team. And like I've always said, and I've been saying on this show forever, defense is the one thing that travels. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, defense travels, no matter what. So that being said, I want to thank the guys over here today. We are, like I said, one of my favorite places, Georgia's Happy Hog, family owned and I've been coming here for a while because it's over here. But anyway, 712 Culbertson Drive, just north of the OU Medical Center on Lincoln, east of Lincoln, just south of the state capitol, across from the Harn Homestead. So if you know where the Harn Homestead is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you go west, you go into the parking lot of the Harn Homestead. If you go east, you got to go up in the hill, up into Lincoln Terrace, and it's right there. And they are closed Sundays and Mondays. They're open Tuesdays through Friday from 11 to 7, and on Saturdays 11 to 5. And I can promise you, Tuesdays and Fridays, they have mac and cheese. And I love their mac and cheese. And of course, Carolyn Henthorne and Randy Wright at YNB, they love their ends. And by the way, guys, I will have some burnt ends today, just to let you know. I'm having the ends today. I'm just letting you know what I'm getting. And of course, this is all brought to you by, man, I don't know what it is with me coughing today. I can't seem to get everything done. Anyway, once again, we're here courtesy of YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender, a member of the FDIC. They're a proud sponsor for us to be here today at Georgia's Happy Hog. You can pre-qualify online with them at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you go into one of their 5 locations, the main bank at 401 Elm, 66 steps from historic downtown Yukon, Oklahoma. And by the way, we will be there Thursday. And then, of course, YNB East, which is off the Parkway and 66 or 39th Expressway. YNB Mustang, 218 North Mustang Road. YNB Parkway, which is off Garth Brooks and I-40, just south of I-40, can't miss it right in front of the hospital there. You can't miss it as soon as you exit. It's just literally, if you're going east off I-40, it's literally just right there to your right. And then, of course, YB Peoples, located in Bethany on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur. So we want to thank them for their sponsorship of us being back out. And now that it's warm, we will be at all of our different minority locations. And in fact, if it's nice tonight, we will be at Cats tonight if it's nice. But we'll see how that is going to work out for us tonight on the show. So then also we want to take this opportunity to thank SRB. Engineering, for if you have needs for engineering, surveying, or planning, hit those guys up. They love to be behind the scenes. Also, if you have a water treatment plant in your city or county, they'd love to come in and make sure that you have clean drinking water. And then, of course, Oak Grove Trucking, if you have needs for dirt, rock, or sand to be moved, hit our guys up over there. They'd love to be able to take care of you. And then, of course, the House of Creed, handcrafted since 1760. I'm telling you, this is some good smelling stuff. This is some good smelling stuff. And what they've always told me is, Matt, remember, pick the best for your best. And if you're a woman and you got a guy, I can promise you, go into the Penn Square Mall, see my girl Beth. She'd love to be able to take care of you for your significant other, to make sure he has the right cologne. And then also, if you are a male and you have a female that's your significant other, that she's your girl, man, I'm going to tell you this, they've got great smelling perfume. They're at the mall, Penn Square Mall, Woodland Hills Mall, Town East Mall, and they're all in Dillard's, Oak Park Mall, Park Plaza Mall in Little Rock, and South Penn Mall in Lubbock, and Westgate in Amarillo, Texas. So anyway, go into all those places and check them out. So the one thing about the Thunder is this, and I've said that defense travels, okay? And the reason why defense travels is because with defense, it doesn't matter, okay? Because sometimes your offense, you're going to have games where your offense is not going to score. Okay? You're going to have games where your offense is not going to score. But defense travels. And so no matter where you go, no matter what you do, your defense will travel. And when you look at the Thunder and where they are, we're number 4 in scoring, which means we're putting up points. We're number 2 in keeping the opposing team from scoring. And when you look at that, look at the differential. We have the best differential plus minus in the history of the game. And all the other guys that have the same plus minus as us all won the chip. Why? Because defense travels. Okay? Defense travels. When you look at field goal percentage, we're number 1. 3-point percentage, we're number 1. Free throw percentage, as far as us scoring, we're number 1. I'm just naming off the stuff we're number 1 in. Pips, points in the paint, we're number 1 as far as giving up points in the paint. Steals, we're number 1 in stealing the ball away from the opposing team. We're number 1 in them taking care of the ball, them not stealing the ball from us. We're number 1 in turnovers. We only average 11.5 turnovers. We're number 1. We're number 1 in turning the opposing team over 17 times. And, of course, I said this yesterday. Of our 17 turnovers, we get the other team to commit a game, 10 of those are steals. And this doesn't include getting our hands on the ball. We're number 1 in that in deflections. We're number 1 when we do turn the ball over. We're number 1 in keeping the opposing team from scoring. So if someone steals the ball, we're number 1 in that. We're number 1 in transitional points, keeping people from scoring on us in transition. We're number 1. And those aren't on there. We're number 1 since J-Dub's been out. We're number 1 in second quarter scoring. These are all things we're just number 1 in. Not number 2, not number 3. Those are all the things we are number 1 in the league in doing. Defense travels. Offense does too, don't get me wrong, but defense travels. And as long as we're putting up these numbers, it's going to make a difference. It's going to make a huge difference. If we're putting up these kind of numbers, it's going to make the difference. Because defense travels. Offense, you're going to have bad games where, like, look at SGA the other night. 7 for 29. When the hell has he ever been 7 for 29? When's he going to be 7 for 29 again? Probably not. But what happened? At the end of the game, SGA gets his hand on a deflection ball. It deflects off of Zubac. We get the ball back with a minute to go. Okay? Then, when they had the ball on the other end, down 3, what happened? Or down, up, let me see, we were up 1, I believe, at that point. Kawhi's got the ball. He goes to spin. We trap him. He has a spin back, shoots an off-balance 3, goes off the rail. Who's in there to tip the ball away? Ihart, Dort, SGA. Dort gets the ball, kicks the SGA. They foul SGA. He goes and makes 2 free throws with 3 seconds to go. Then after that, what ends up happening after that? Well, after that, they have the ball, no timeouts because Ty Lue called a timeout. We all were like, what the hell? I don't think he knew. His coaching staff didn't tell him. It may have been just an impromptu, just him not knowing how many timeouts he left. Because when he sat down, he looked up, and you could see the look on his face like, oh, shit, I don't have any timeouts left. So you could tell that made a difference. And so those type of things are the things that made the difference. And then, of course, Alex Caruso, great job fouling. He got the ball and had to come up the court. He fouls him with .06 seconds to go. Kawhi goes to the line, makes the first one. Remember, we're up 3. And he has to miss the second with .06 seconds. And then, of course, we get the ball. And then, of course, he gets the ball, tries to shoot, and Alex Caruso blocks the shot, which he wouldn't have counted anyway because when he missed the free throw, we tipped it. Then he caught it. Then he tried to shoot. You can't do all that in .06 seconds. Anyway, Caruso blocked the shot, so it's irrelevant. But that being said, the defense is what got us there, okay? The defense is what got us there because of all the things that I just showed you. Number one. I can't even say number one. Number one. Overwhelmingly, number one. And my only concern is that the coach doesn't change his philosophy on trying to play J-Dub, a guy we clearly don't need as much as we need SJ. That's clear. We're winning without him. So there's no way you can put him on the same level as SJ, but he's going to because that's his guy. Okay? That's his guy. So he's going to do that. So when I look at that and I say, okay, what are our chances of losing? Number one, playing too many people because like Commander and I talked about today, guys, here's your top 8 for sure. SGA, J-Dub, Dort, Ihart, Chet, Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins, and Joe if he's making, that's your 9. But that's your 8. And then Joe is 9. That's your 9. Now, depending on who we're playing, you might need to play K-Rich or you might need to play J-Will. Because if we're playing double bigs, you can't play, you have to play Ihart. If you take Chet out, you got to put Jay Will in there to do a big. If we're playing big, if they're playing 2 bigs, so you got to be able to do that. But the problem is, if you're playing Minnesota, you can't really do that because their bigs are out on the stretch, and Jay Will and Ihart, they really can't guard the perimeter. So Chet can, but the other 2 really can't. So that makes it hard to do that. So it depends on who you're going against. Denver, yes, 100%. We can go against their 2 bigs all day long. Okay, so that is where you're sitting at. So, like I said, you have your 8, SGA, J-Dub, Dort, Ihart, Chet, Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins. That's your 8. And then if you count Joe, that's your 9. So that's who you're going to normally go with. And then depending on matchups, you're going to have to play K-Rich because, like I've said many times, if Isaiah Joe is knocking down threes, you can play him. If he's not knocking down threes, you can't. He's a liability. He just is. Now, I like me some Isaiah Joe a lot. But he's a liability if you're if you've got him out there and you're trying to do something. He's a liability. You can't do it. You can't do it defensively. He'll turn the ball over because once you run him off his spot and then he's trying to put the ball on the ground and put the ball on the floor and he's trying to make moves, that's when he gets in trouble. He gets in trouble trying to make entry passes. He is a shooter, not a scorer. And for those of you who are new to the channel, remember, the difference between a shooter and scorer is simple. A shooter is a person who catches the ball and he knocks down threes. A scorer is somebody who can put the ball on the floor and take you by scoring at the basket or pulling up mid-range or shooting threes. That's a scorer. He is a shooter. and people are running him off his spots, trying to make him score. So when they do that, it gets him all out of position, which is one of the problems that the Thunder have when he's in there. Is that one simple thing? Okay, so that's why I say if he's knocking down threes, like of course he wasn't against the Clippers the other night, you got to pull him. If he moves, he missed two because they're going to attack him. Okay, like with us, of the guys, when the other night you have SGA, Caruso, Kaysen, Dort, and Ihart. Who are you going to attack of those five? Well, you're going to get a matchup, which is what they did. They switched out and put Kaysen, or they switched. The Clippers did to get, oh my God, Kawhi against Kaysen. Why? Because he could post him up because Kaysen's not big enough, so he could do that. The other person you want to do is you want to create the matchups. Who is the other person of that group? Who is the weakest defensive player on the perimeter we got? It would be SGA. If you count him as weak, was he third in scoring, third in steals? Is he weak? No, but of that group between Kaysen and Caruso and Dort, yeah, he's the weakest one of the four. So those are the issues that you have to worry about, okay? It's about lineups. And he cannot be a minutes manager because when he's a minutes manager and he's managing minutes, that gets us in trouble because he does lineups. And here's my problem of what I'm trying to explain to you about lineups. In NBA games in the playoffs, you get 5 less possessions, approximately. With that, at the end of the game, if you give away 2 or 3 possessions in the second quarter or first quarter because you're putting in Jang or whatever, I'm not trying to throw Jang under the bus, but I'm just saying Jang, whatever. Then what you do is, at the end of the game, instead of you being up 2, up 5, down, you're going to be down 1, down 3, score tied because you gave away possessions earlier. Then when you got Lou Dort trying to make plays and Isaiah Joe trying to make plays instead of doing stuff what they're capable of doing, then that's when you get in trouble. Okay? So that being said, as long as he doesn't manage minutes and plays J-Dub the same amount of minutes, because let's face it, SJ is going to be the MVP. Okay? Unless he just gets robbed, which I believe he should have been last year, like I've said. He should have been MVP last year. Because of the simple fact that had he played, and I've said this 1,000 times, had the game winner against New York, gets hurt, doesn't play against Boston, doesn't play against Philly, doesn't play against the Pacers. All those games are on ESPN. Nobody had seen him play. That was his moment to shine. And I believe that he played all those games and did his normal 30 points, 50% shooting, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, whatever, 2 steals and a block, he would have been the MVP last year because we were the number 1 seed. That's what I believe. So if Dagnall is trying to play J-Dub, a person clearly we don't need as much as we need SGA because, well, we won 5 straight, 6 straight without him or something like that. Do we need him for the playoffs? 100%. 100%. We're not going to win in the playoffs without J-Dub. That's idiotic to say. Okay, that's you're crazy. But like I said, you have a 5-year window. And we talked about this yesterday and we talked about it on the show. This is year 2 of our 5-year window. I say it's kind of year 1 because we added Ihart and we added Caruso. So to me, it's kind of year 1, but I do understand some guys in our chat when they were saying it's really year 2 because remember we were the number 1 seed last year. So now, in 3 more years, let's say this is year 2. In 3 more years, which is what you basically have coming up, in 3 more years, you're going to basically have the same team because J-Dub and Chet you're paying this summer so you can pay them early to get them off so you can pay them get cheaper. The next year, you're going to have to pay SGA or Kaysen the following year. So you got to do that. So those are things that are going to be coming up that are going to be facing you. Okay? Now, because if you're paying people early, let's face it, SGA, he's going to stay. The reason why he got rid of his agent, why am I giving you $11 million to be my agent when I already know because I'm first team All NBA. Here's my guaranteed money. It's like when you come into the NFL as a rookie. Do you really need an agent? You already know what your structured salary is. In the NBA as a rookie, you already know what your salary is. Here's what I'm making. If you're drafted first, second, this is what you're making. Now, second round, yes, because that's a negotiation deal. But those first top picks. So SGA, why am I giving this dude $11 million when I already know what I'm already getting? I don't need him. Because at that point, you can go hire a marketing firm, then go out and you ain't got to pay them what you got to pay your agent. So I don't have a problem with that. So the question is, what you going to do? Now, to get back to the 5-year run, remember, we get Topic next year. Topic will be back. So, and remember, he got hurt into June last year. So by the time the NBA season comes around, he would have had 18 months to recover from his ACL. 18 months. So by that, what I'm saying is he's going to be ready. So now in that second and fourth quarter when SGA is not in the game, you got somebody who can handle the ball. J-Dub is in the 2 position. You're going to be rolling. So we're only going to hands because, remember, you're still going to have Caruso. Topic doesn't affect that. We still got a draft pick coming in. He doesn't affect Kaysen. The future's looking up. But this is the thing. Do you squander? You already squandered last year because the year before when we all, like me, the commander, we all wanted to be in the playoffs the year before to get us ready for last year. So you already squandered a year because you were trying to get a pick and you got in last year, the first year. And remember, nobody showed up at SGA. So now this year, everybody should show up because you're used to the bright lights. And everybody still talks about it being young. I'm like, bro, and I've said this how many times on the show? This is my, 200th and 300th or whatever show. Dude, I've been watching these guys for 4 years. You weren't. I was. This is the same team we've been building and improving on for 4 years. You play great defense, SGA closes the door. You play great defense, SGA closes the door. That's what you do. Now, what I mean by that is when teams try to take SGA away like they did in the first year, they would double team SGA when we started rolling, and most of y'all probably don't know this because you weren't even watching Thunder. They're terrible, blah, 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 blah. I was watching. Double team SGA, he had Josh Giddey, and Josh Giddey would eat him apart. Top of the key, boom, boom, 4-on-3, kill him. Teardrop, floater, boom, hit somebody in the corner, Dort in the corner, whomever. Killing him. Then you add J-Dub. And then Josh goes through what Josh goes through, so Josh becomes kind of irrelevant when you get Chet back the next year. So we were done with Josh. But he and J-Dub kind of went together, but you could just see J-Dub's development. And Josh did get better, but you could just see J-Dub went from here to here. So you could see, okay, Josh, and then especially last year with Chet, Josh was kind of, where were you going to put him? So the thing is that the Thunder has been doing this. They've been playing great defense. You got better with J-Dub and Chet. Then you had Ihart and Caruso, along with Dort, SGA, and then you had Kaysen. Kaysen in there, so I'm not going to discount Kaysen. So you add that in there, and all of a sudden you got SGA, you got Dort, you got J-Dub, you got Chet, you got Ihart, you got Kaysen, you got Caruso, and you got Wiggins. That's nasty. There ain't no weak link in there, bro. You got to bring it. You ain't trying to score nothing. Now, with Wiggins now trying to be an offensive guy, being a two-way player, that's really hurt the Thunder. That's really hurt him because now he's not a two-way guy. He's either a defensive guy or now he's turning into an offensive guy. He's not a guy who can go two-way. And I'm talking two-way, that's to be a Kawhi. That Kobe, Jordan, those are two-way guys. He ain't that. Now, Dort, when he's playing defense, his offense suffers, which I'm 100% okay with. Bro, I'm okay with you shooting 6 times. I said I don't want you shooting more than 6 or 7 times a game anyways. Put your opponent on the best defensive player, concentrate putting him in the torture chamber, and shut him down. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. Wiggins, listen, I love the fact you're doing, but when we get Jay in the back, bro, just knock down threes. Don't try to take nobody off the dribble and think you'll score and all. Shoot your three, knock it down. The commander I made a point the other day. He's like, he was struggling, and then all of a sudden he missed a couple threes, then made a three, missed, and then made 2 threes in a row. And since then he's been rolling. I said once again, I wasn't against anybody. Last night or 2 nights ago against the Clippers, he had one bad possession trying to score on Kawhi. Who the hell you? Really? Come on, man. You're not scoring on Kawhi. Catch the ball, knock down your threes. Play good defense. Don't give up offensive rebounds. And you notice, since he's been scoring, his defense is suffering because he's giving up way, way too many offensive rebounds. Because he's too busy trying to let somebody get the rebound and take off instead of concentrating on defense. So the question is, to me, put Wiggins back in the court and say, bro, we need to concentrate on defense and knock down threes. And if you get a chance to slash and take somebody, whatever, cool. But for the most part, I don't want you shooting 14 times. I want you shooting 8 to 10 times. That's it. I don't need you shooting 14, 15, 16, 17 times. One game he shot more than SJ. How the hell are you going to shoot more than SJ? Guess what? We lost. Can't do it. So I'm looking forward to this run we have by the Thunder, okay? And when you look at where we are, here are the next games. We have a huge game tonight. We have a huge game against the Grizzlies. And we talked about this on After the Storm, okay? Our post-game show. We talked about this. You have a huge game against the Grizzlies, and look where they are. You have the Lakers twice and the Rockets. And the Suns now are surging. But I don't see us playing anybody against the Jazz. And I don't see us playing anybody against the Pelicans. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Do you want the home court advantage, and what is that going to mean, and how close is Denver or Detroit going, Cleveland going to be at that point? Because, our schedule is tough. We can beat the Kings because it's a back-to-back night for them, coming off the Celtics flying from Boston to Oklahoma City and then having played a back-to-back night. So we should get a W tonight. The Grizzlies don't match up well with us, but still, they still can on Thursday. Then Saturday, you have another huge game with the Pacers. Then you have the Bulls, and the Bulls want us. The Bulls are a decent team, and so are the Pistons. Those aren't in the Rockets. So you got top 4 teams. You got to play against the Grizzlies. You got to play against the Pacers. You got to play against the Rockets. You got to play against the Lakers twice, and the Suns are surging. So after tonight, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, actually, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, and you have 7 of those games that you could get beat really, really easily. The Bulls are no joke, but the Bulls shouldn't beat us. But the Grizzlies, they could beat us. The Pacers, they could beat us. The Pistons, they want us. The Rockets in Houston, they can beat us. The Lakers twice, they can beat us, even though they've lost 7 out of the last 10. They could beat us. The Suns, they could beat us, and they want us. And the Jazz and Pelicans, neither one of them should beat us. Neither one of them should be carrying at that point. But here's the million-dollar question. Where do you want to be? Do you want the overall best record to go into the playoffs to make sure you have home court all the way through? Number 2, how do you want us playing going into the playoffs? Because let's face it, we're going to have those games. We're going to clinch the number 1 seed, I think, if we haven't already tonight or tomorrow or tonight or Thursday or whatever, we're going to clinch the number 1 seed. So to me, that's not in question. The question is the overall number 1 seed. How important is that to us? Now, the Celtics, we're going to beat over them. But the question is, remember, the Cavaliers, they're playing the East. They have an easy schedule, remaining 10 games or whatever they have left. It's the easiest, one of the easiest in the league. So the question is, what is our overall plan at that point? Now, I don't see us at that point, because of our last 11 games, we should be 9-2, maybe 10-1. But we also could go 8-3. Now the question is, when are we getting J-Dub back? When do we play him? And we can afford to rest him right now because we're winning. We're on a 5-game, 6-game winning streak without him. So do we need him? Yes, we do for the playoffs. So he's going to need to play at some point. And you may want to play him if he comes back in another 2 or 3 weeks. You may want to wait to play him in those last few games just to get him in the groove to get ready for the playoffs so he can get some game. Because do you want to sit him where he's rusty and hadn't played? So those are questions that Thunder are going to have to come up with. But you, as an audience, what do we do? Do we want the overall number 1 seed? Yes or no? We got a 2-game lead. But our schedule is tough. I just showed you what our schedule is. What does that say for us? What does that make us want to do? What are our options? All those things matter. They're little, but those things matter. They're teeny tiny, but those things matter. What do we want to do? Where do we want to finish? So, that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, we were here at Georgia's Happy Hog, one of my favorite places. And if you haven't been here, you need to come by Georgia's. It's at 712 Culbertson Drive, just east of Lincoln, south of the state capitol, north of the OU Medical Center, right there on Lincoln, just east off of Lincoln. You can't miss it. Go straight up the hill in Lincoln Terrace, and it's just right there over the hill. Fantastic place, and they're open. They're closed Sundays and Mondays, so they're cooking. And they're open Tuesday through Fridays from 11 to 7, Saturdays from 11 to 5. And, of course, once again, we want to thank where are they at? I don't even know where my people are. I want to thank YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. I want to thank them for their sponsorship for us being here today at Georgia's, because without them, we would not be here supporting women, minority and black-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. So we appreciate YNB for their sponsorship. And I appreciate all you guys. And remember, like and subscribe, hit notifications every time we're on. And remember, after the storm, OKC Thunder post-game analysis live stream. Pretty popular. You can go in and comment and talk and do all the things you need to do. So that being said, peace out, Thunder up. Enjoy this beautiful